important to accept that leadership role and to own it.
For a young quarterback playing in the NFL's biggest market, the learning curve can be treacherous.
Sanchez sacked back at the 40-yard line.
The search for knowledge intense.
I'm learning leaps and bounds.
For Mark Sanchez, amidst the chaos and controversy surrounding the Jets,
driving while under the influence, possible sexual harassment.
It's an education like no other.
Learning how to be the quarterback for the New York Jets is difficult, but it's very fun. There's a lot of attention. It's a white-hot spotlight, but the most important thing you need to know is it's a 24/7 job. It's an ongoing course.
The subject matter is advanced for the 23-year-old Sanchez, as he not only tries to master a complex offense, but faces the pressures and high demands of playing quarterback in New York. There are Super Bowl-sized expectations for a team with a 4-decade championship drought, unrelenting media, endorsement demands, gossip magazine paparazzi, and the tabloids on his tail.
It can get nasty, you know, and you need to prepare yourself for that mentally more than anything. It's one of the toughest places to play. Weather, fans, I mean, they're so loyal, but they're tough. They expect wins. They want a Super Bowl ring, like Joe Namath brought them.
In New York, it's a distraction. There's a lot going on off the field. You have to be tutored properly. And if you wander from the advice, it can get in the way of your football growth. Fortunately, he has tutors, coaches, that have taken him under the wing. I'm not a mentor, no. He's getting plenty of help from guys, the sources that are closer to him.
Sanchez, a second-generation Mexican-American, is also dealing with the pressure of being the face of Latino football in the NFL. In a city where 27% of the population is Hispanic, he's constantly being asked to do interviews in Spanish, which he didn't grow up speaking, but is now taking lessons in.
El poder me lo das tú. You know, it's about trying to communicate to them. The little kids, they can see my name on the back of the jersey, and they know that it's, I mean, that's just not any other name to them. It's important, and it means something. El ruido de 80,000 fanáticos. I am powered by you.
As time has gone by and is going by, he's learning how powerful a message he can carry and how powerful that can be for him, for those people in the community.
La educación abre tu futuro.
The Jets traded up to number 5 to draft Sanchez last year because they thought he could handle all the pressures and demands of playing in New York.
The New York Jets select Mark Sanchez, quarterback, USC.
But the learning process was far from immediate. The first rookie starting quarterback in the history of one of the most high-profile franchises in the country, Sanchez flashed moments of greatness, but was plagued with inconsistency, throwing 20 interceptions and suffering through a tough stretch, losing 6 of 7 games.
It just eats at you because you work so hard all week and then you make a couple dumb decisions and you ruin a game, and it's just like, man.
Did he make some mistakes? Sure. You know, there were some things like, oh, kid, why'd we make that throw?
Sanchez started improving on the field toward the end of the season, helping the Jets reach the AFC Championship game. But after undergoing off-season knee surgery, he realized if the Jets were going to get to the Super Bowl, he would have to improve. Starting with his rehab, he pledged his second year would be different.
Constantly worked in the film room, studying plays, just immersing himself in football.
No player that I've ever been around has done what he did. Every offensive meeting Mark was in there for. All of the extra work. He'd take guys in and watch tape with them.
Hey, man, you ready yet? Let's go, man. Waiting on you. Top left, square.
Sanchez then extended the classroom to his high school field in Mission Viejo, California.
Let's catch dust.
In July, he flew the team's offensive skill players across the country for a passing camp he called Jets West.
Jets on 3. 1, 2, 3.
Jets! Most guys are out on vacation. We're out here just grinding and going to work. And for him to set all that up, it means a lot, and it's going to show on Sundays.
Head.
And once it's not only to be a championship team, but more specifically a championship offense, You know, we already have the defense in place. Just a matter of us going out there and making plays.
I'll figure out a competition. What do you guys want to do? Goalposts, back end of the ball.
Even 3,000 miles away from New York, Sanchez still couldn't escape the critics.
Your teammates, they've been a little critical of the T-shirts.
I know. They'll come around. They'll come around.
We saw the shirts and we was like, Mark, you sure you want to wear these shirts out here on camera?
But it's not flashy or bling enough for them, is that it?
Maybe not. Next year I'll bedazzle it.
When Sanchez returned to New York, he was met with sky-high expectations, intensified by plenty of trash talking from the Jets' own locker room. But the hype crashed in a Game 1 Monday night loss to the Ravens, when Sanchez threw for just 74 yards and no touchdowns. Some blamed him for the loss, labeling him the weak link on a team with a championship-caliber defense and a formidable running game.
Just watching the film right after the Ravens game that Tuesday morning, I was like, man, there's so many things we could have done better.
So Sanchez did something no one expected. Bolstered by his off-season work, he stood up in a team meeting and commandeered the film projector from the coaching staff.
I showed one play where I rushed my cadence. They brought a blitz up the middle. I said, what happened on this play? And we talked to everybody. Let's get this fixed.
You know, it was a huge step in his development. Being able to put himself accountable, but also hold other guys accountable too, I think is a big step.
The following week, in front of a raucous New York crowd, Sanchez outplayed Tom Brady and the division rival Patriots, throwing 3 touchdowns and racking up more than 200 passing yards as he played arguably the best game of his young career. Less than 48 hours later, that high was shattered. Sanchez's leading receiver, Braylon Edwards, had been arrested on DWI charges, and the team felt the wrath of its followers once again. The next day, Sanchez used his newfound credibility with his teammates and pulled Edwards aside in the locker room.
The first thing I told Braylon, I said, hey man, nothing's gonna change, but I'm gonna need your focus now. We're gonna put all this stuff behind us. And he was able to check that baggage at the door, come in every day, focus, ready to play.
That's one of the great qualities of leadership is sometimes it's, hey, you know, this is what we're doing. We're just going along. We'll let everything else sort itself out. You know, we need to focus on football.
Still, the most personal test of Sanchez's growing leadership came after the Jets came under fire for harassing TV Azteca reporter Inez Sanz. He was not directly involved in the incident, but repairing that damage was particularly important to Sanchez, as he continues to work to be more of a presence in the Hispanic American community.
The first thing I heard about it was the next day. I was like, what happened? And it was just an unfortunate situation, and you know, we apologized to her.
Did you make a special effort to reach out to her after that
incident?
incident?
Through Mr. Johnson, Mike Tannenbaum, Rex, you know, I made sure that they said something to her, and then, you know, I made a point to just say, hey, we appreciate you being, you know, a professional about everything.
And so the education of Mark Sanchez continues. In leading the Jets to a 4-1 start, he has yet to throw an interception, and improved in ways that show up way beyond the stat sheet.
Mark has convinced his teammates, even as early as last year, he's there to learn and win a championship.
I'm going to do everything I can to bring home a championship to this town, to this city. I think the guys see that now.